I'm Lulu from Plants by Lulu and welcome on my channel. Today I am going to do some maintenance on my variegated hibiscus and tell you all about its story. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and let's go. This plant is probably almost as tall as I am. As you can see, it's taller than I am, and I don't know if I can show you, but it is tied together to a stick here at the bottom, and I didn't have a long stick, so it's also tied here with a very short stick, which makes it very wobbly and not very stable. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to replace the two sticks with a long stick, and I'm going to tie everything to that stick. While I'm doing this, I also want to show you kind of the trajectory of the growth of this plant. I'm also going to prune it from yellow leaves because this baby yellows fast and easily. The first thing I want to mention about this guy is, in the beginning I had him in soil, and in that soil he dried out very quickly. I have some pictures that I will show you, but he was very cute, very small when I got him, but his roots grew very large and he needed a larger pot. So I repotted him. I think I made a video about it, and I put him, he was standing in the kitchen and I put him in the study room. There he grew a lot, and he grew bigger, and I think that happened when I went away for my master research, but he just lost almost all his bottom leaves. And mind you, in the beginning he had a lot of flowers, a lot, because it's a hibiscus, so he had a lot of flowers, like very bright pink. However, at that time, and I still am of the mentality that I don't want flowers, but I appreciate them more. But at that time I didn't want any flowers in my house because I really wanted the plant to grow and not to get stuck on the flowers. So every flowery bud he got, I cut away immediately. And that was sometimes like 2 or 3 per day, which is a lot to maintain every day. So gradually, I think the plant got used to it or accustomed to it and didn't really produce any flowers. I don't know. Nowadays, I would say I would keep some, not every, but like maybe 2 or 3 per time. But I think it grew custom that flowers weren't appreciated in the way that I let them flower. So I kind of trained this specific hibiscus to not flower. And I did not know that would be the outcome. I just didn't want to deal with the flowers at that moment. So it was just a way for me to cope. I also wanted to really stimulate the variegated leaves, because I noticed that over time, when you let it grow, it loses kind of its variegation. So, for example, this, I don't know if you can see, but it had a lot of variegation, all these leaves, and then this is the result. Less variegation, almost none. And so I cut it back a lot. Of course it needs its fully green leaves, so here and there I keep it. But if I think the overall plant turns too much green, I just cut some green parts off, and it shoots out new growth points all the time. So that's not a problem. But that's also what I'm going to do today. I am going to prune it because it's getting crazy. And don't you worry, it's just that when you cut it, it might look very bare compared to what you're used to. Or it might look like too much cut back. But again, this baby will grow fast and grow a lot. So after the moment in the study room where I noticed he wasn't doing that well because he lost almost all his lower leaves, I put him in the living room. However, he really needed water every other day. I am not joking. And some people can handle that. I couldn't. You know, I'm going to be honest, I couldn't. And it drained me. It really drained me. So I decided, I really was contemplating to give this away because I couldn't handle it anymore. I think I told this story already, but I rescued another plant in a system that's called botanic, which has a normal like plastic pot, but without the drainage at the bottom and with a water reservoir, and the system has its own stones. I think they're lava stones, and there's a meter inside of it, and in that way it's kind of, you know, its own water system. I noticed, because this was at work, that the specific plant that continuously comes in this water system doesn't particularly like to be in the water system. We got the plant, I think, 3 times or 4 times, and every time the plant doesn't really do well over time when he's with us. So I just took it as a rescue only because I wanted the system, basically, because you can also pay separately for the system, but that's, you know, I just also wanted that plant and to try that out. So I repotted that plant into soil, normal houseplant soil, and I repotted this one, which was in soil, into the water system with the stones. And they're like this type of stone, and that is what I did with this plant, and that is why it is going so well for this plant. He needs, I think, every kind of 5 to 7 days water because of the hydroculture system and like the water reservoir. This is the state of the plant, and this is the pole, and the idea is to put it like here, which makes it grow up again because he's very wobbly. And my ideal situation would be to, you see the stem? This stem is so much thicker than it was in the beginning. It was like this kind of stem. So I really want this plant to kind of become a tree with a thick trunk with branches. These are very big leaves and I love them. However, when you know, cut the new growth, it promotes the leaves to become smaller. So I think it would be a blend of both. When I cut it the first time, I kind of made a mistake because the main branch, I kind of cut the main branch off, which kind of made it now that there's no main branch. And maybe that's kind of tree-like, but also normally with a tree you have like a longer stem and the division is already like very low. So yes, my choice was a bit questionable back then. But back then I also didn't know what my goal was for this plant. The reason why I wanted to film this is because I think that over the course of having this plant, I never really appreciated it. There were times that I looked at it and thought, oh my gosh, yes, it is really growing, or oh my gosh, the white parts are really showing. But overall, if I'm thinking about keeping this plant, having this plant, I never really stopped to appreciate it. Even though I have repotted it and, you know, at that moment told you guys that I liked it and stuff, I never really sat with a plant and, you know, appreciated everything about it. Even the things that are temporary, or even the things that I don't like. Not only I think it's time to do that, I was like, I want to do it. I want to show you this plant. I want to tell you its story. And so that's why I am making the video. I hope you also have a plant that you really like. Or you have a plant that you kind of had problems with, but now you figured it out and you don't have them as much as you used to. Let me know what those plants are, because I'm very curious. If there is a plant you know I have or you're curious about, also leave that down in the comments below, because I'm also curious what you want to talk about or what you want to see. Because I think at this moment all the plants I have a story. Okay, so as you can see, I chopped the top off, so it's not as long as me anymore. Yes, so as you can see, it looks at the moment like this. So there's a very bare area here. Very well situation there. This stem, I don't know. That stem, I don't know. Here's a stem. This kind of thing, what's here, here's a stem. It has kind of grew upright on its own. But there is no main stem. The main stem is that, and I think I cut it off. There's also new growth. I don't know. I don't know. He's coming here in this corner. Oh, by the way, he also needs water, so when I give him water, I can show you how everything works. So this is the bottom. This is like, I don't know. Then you have the bare middle, and then you have the top. Well, I kind of do want this to be here, but then I have to tie this here, and these two, which then I can tie this one here. That stem there was growing like fully there. So now it's rectified. So this can grow here because here's some open space. I'm not mad about that. I think I have to tie it here. So this will come more forward. I think the top is done for now. We have tied that side piece. Now that side piece there. Oh yes, okay, so this one is not even that that high yet. Just look, this is a great example. Look at the variegation here, how variegated this section is, and then look at this. So I'm going to cut probably like here. And now you still have this, but now it can focus more on the variegation. And then it's tied like this. I also need to put this one somewhere. I'm also going to cut this one. This one is going to be a bit lower, so maybe keep it like that or up it a bit. I think it looks good like this. I know because the growth is so fast, I know I need to redirect that one in about 3 months, but for now it's good. Now we have the bottom. We have this one, but I need to tie this somewhere somehow, and then tie this one, and then I think we're done for today. It's kind of hard to decide because this one, in terms of level, is behind this one, but in terms of growth, it has grown forward like this. So I'm not sure. I probably have to tie it a bit in front of this one. It looks like this now, which I'm quite happy with. So I wanted to show you how the system works. If you can see it here, this blue thingy is at the bottom, and it needs to be between here and here. And so I'm going to give it water. And then you probably see in about a minute, you see the blue thing shoot up. And then you know he has water. Do you see it? It has gone from here to here. So this was the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit the subscribe and the like button, and I will see you in the next one. Doei!